Welcome, fellow spiritual travelers, to Soul Network and our brand new 10-episode series, The InSaider Lens, wherein we will embark on an invigorating, first-of-its-kind journey across these United States of America in search of her soul. For we believe that in discovering hers, we awaken ours, thereby unraveling what seeing always inside Sai truly means. So please join us in this journey of joint discovery of the soul, the source of unconditional love, for that's where the ever-resplendent Sai resides.
Sai Ram, from the melting pot of New York City, the land of the cowboys of Dallas, the city of Atlanta that exemplifies the spirit of resurgence, to the Native American heritage of Seattle, to the politically progressed city of Boston, the golden land of opportunities of San Francisco, Hawaii, and Los Angeles, through the sky-high Midwest of Chicago, Milwaukee, and Detroit, and last but not least, the vibrant and eclectic city of St. Louis. We have all been on this tremendous and inspiring spiritual journey through InSaider Lens. How fortunate are we to be living on this land where cultural and historical milestones have sculpted the nation and its people. So let's travel back in time and reminisce on the captivating stories and divine lessons the cities have taught us throughout the 9 weeks. Each episode was crafted to present the city and the motto at its finest, and while each city taught us unique lessons, the true essence of InSaider Lens was to awaken the power of self-transformation within. As Swami always reminds us, information without transformation is useless. We have heard from many of you through the Sai Connect challenges and have been inspired by your experiences. Here are Ramya and Shreyas, both hardworking and dedicated young adults. Let's follow them as they journey towards the Sai within.
Oh my god, it's so late. Shreyas, why didn't you wake me up? It's so late. Oh my god, 7:30. Oh god, it's so late. Oh, I have vacations and meetings and how did I oversleep? Oh my god. Of course, the towel will not be where it needs to be. Nothing is ever where it should be. Okay, calm down, you got this. Just do your hair and then just go get your breakfast. Okay, got this. Make sure I have this. Oh, come on, just in time. Cannot believe I'm running so late. I just overslept. I have to come back, I have to do my presentation, I need to chart. Okay, all done, all set, everything's checked. Let me go get my coffee ready.
Knock, knock. Hi, Miss Busy Bee. I just came back from work. How's it going?
It's going. Just working on these presentations. I have 2 of them due tonight by midnight, and of course, it would have helped if I woke up early this morning, but that's another story.
Well, I think we need to get you a few more alarm clocks because obviously your husband is not good enough.
Oh well, whatever.
Okay. So I know you've been really busy with all these presentations and CEUs and the other job that you've taken. I think it's time to take a break, maybe a vacation.
You know, Shreyas, that sounds like a great idea. But are you kidding me? How can I take a break when I have all these patients that need me, all these CEUs that I present at? That's just a joke. I mean, that's a great idea, but yeah, it is not going to happen.
Well, I think I've got the exact thing for you. I just got a text. Have you heard about this thing called the InSaider lens?
Like InSaider lens?
That's right, like InSaider lens.
Like this?
Exactly that, yes.
You got a text about that?
Yes, I got a text about it.
That's interesting. I just opened this email when I was looking for something else for the presentation.
Well, I think this is going to be the perfect break for you. So, how about I make you some chai and we watch it together?
Sure, I mean, that sounds like a really good idea. Looks like there's like 9 episodes or something. I think the first one's starting tonight. So chai sounds like a really good idea. Why don't I just wrap up what I'm doing right now? I have a couple more slides left. I'll quickly finish that, and then hopefully the chai will be ready and we can watch this episode and see what we have to learn from it.
Awesome. I'll make some chai, extra spicy, and I won't forget the sugar.
They keep going, the light keeps glowing, and it's shining now to make the load lighter. They keep going, the light keeps glowing. In the dark, it only gets brighter and brighter and brighter, brighter.
My daughter was not able to join the session, but like after I came home, I was telling her we need to do this together again. And one other material that we had yesterday was the leaves.
If so, it seems like you're suffering from COVID work from home syndrome. To treat this syndrome, introducing PandaMat, your pandemic mat. I'm a great companion because of my compact and portable design. I was created with the latest smart Soul technology, and the coolest feature is a built-in sensor that can detect when you and I are low on positive vibrations. So recharge with me by spending time on your favorite activities that nourish your inner self.
We all agreed that there's always ways we could do more. So we ended with the Sadhana Challenge. And we'd like to offer it to you here as well. Ready? What's the one thing that you can do individually or as a group to live more sustainably? Share your best ideas and practices to implement the 4 R's: reconnect, reduce, reuse, and recycle. Submit a photo or an under 10-second video clip highlighting your best practices.
AirSci is your personalized spiritual flight that serves on your journey of self-discovery. Need to get away from materialistic distractions to internal reflection? Looking for spiritual bliss and peace of mind distant from the stress of the physical world? With AirSci, Embark on your journey from self to selflessness.
Uncles and aunts telling kids what to do, and like mundane family functioning, but just really it was about the like the literal love of family connection. That was the holiday.
Wherever you may be, even in the farthest sea, if you are cheerful, never be doubtful. For soft and sweet speech is not only to teach that God speaks through you, always remember the cue. That God speaks through you, always remember the cue.
And when I talk of sounds, we talk of mantras, the sacred Vedic mantra that has been chanted for thousands of years. These sacred syllables create sound patterns, neural pathways in the brain.
All right, Friday night again. Let's see what InSaider has in store for us tonight. Episode 10. I cannot wait for it. Oh my goodness, we've already missed the first few minutes. What time is it? Totally lost track of time. Shreyas, hurry up. InSaider's already started. We've missed the first few minutes.
What? What?
Yeah, we missed a few minutes already. Let's just catch up with the main segment.
Oh my God. Our top story tonight. SSSIO celebrates Christmas through a worldwide special program on the divine life of Jesus Christ. It will be telecasted live at satyasai.org/live tomorrow, December 25th at 8 p.m. Pacific Time, and rebroadcast on Sunday, December 26th at 9 a.m. Pacific Time. And now, it's time for our main segment. First, let us learn about a wonderful program that brings together women in the Satya Sai community to empower, strengthen, and enrich each other. Someone asked Swami if women have more qualities than men, to which Swami replied, not qualities, powers. Caring, sacrifice, compassion, understanding, adjustment, patience, and responsibility. These 7 powers are internal. In order to harness these powers within women, a core team of Sai sisters have been mentoring and developing leadership skills in women, devotees across the 10 regions of USA. Let us listen to them as they share their experiences.
Sai Ram, everyone. I feel truly blessed to share my experiences with the Women's Mini Retreat in Region 7, which we also commonly call WMR. The one word that comes to mind when I think of WMR is enriching, truly enriching. Swami has given us such a wonderful opportunity, and right from the planning to the culmination into the retreat, it was just full of love and a lot of supportive women. The sisterly bond was strong to this date, and this opportunity brought out leaders in very many women that continues to blossom in all of us. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, brothers and sisters and elders. Thank you, Sister Priya. We women have received a miraculous gift from our Creator, our nurturing love. This love surpasses all the gifts given by God to the world. The heart of a woman is filled with compassion because most of the women in some situations have suffered some injustice, some pain, some suffering. The women can forgive the unforgivable. This, yes, sisters, is the power of all women. We have this ability to create, to share, to assist, and to empower. There was a core group that met and created this wonderful, wonderful opportunity in March 2021 for women who deal with several situations to come together and be able to share their experiences, share their problems, and receive empowerment and strength from each other. The idea of starting the Women's Empowerment Group in all regions was facilitated by the core group. They approached the regional presidents and asked them to nominate a licensed professional to lead the women's group, and in that way come up with a way in which each center or each region can have different groups where women can come together and enrich each other and become a peer enrichment group. Sister Brenda, could you please talk to us about the purpose of the group and outline the nature of the group? Thank you.
The purpose of the Women's Peer Enrichment Group is to provide extended learning opportunities and skills, allowing all to work through challenges where needed. The pursuit of true action with imperfection and offering from Sai Baba all of ourselves through his teachings. It also provides a structured opportunity for participants to engage in activities designed to promote growth and development through support, play, and social interaction. It deepens our relationship with Sai Baba teaching. It deepens and enriches our own spiritual life and journey with other women seeking to do the same. Our women's support group can be defined as a gathering of people with common experiences and concerns who meet to provide emotional and moral support for one another. We encourage a sense of community, a source of empathetic understanding, and provide an avenue of establishing social networks. Some benefits of our group is to include it promotes inclusion by creating opportunities or creating communities while helping people to realize they are not alone. It can be cost effective. It works to empower people. It promotes information sharing. It can reduce anxiety, stress, and in some cases, depression. It provides a forum for shared experiences and the freedom to speak freely. The reinforcement of the normacy of reactions and experiences. It offers the opportunities to develop new connections at times of isolation. It enables opportunities to learn from others and gain support, encouragement, and also hope. It provides a sense of belonging in a safe and comfortable environment. We will work to promote the processes that help the group meet its goals while ensuring that the structures, norms, and culture in the group environment are favorable to the accomplishment of the established goals. Thank you, Sarah.
Thanks, Sister Brenda, for outlining the purpose of the group. Sister Kala, how can we effectively listen to each other and support each other and empower each other?
Thank you, Sister. This is about effective listening, and what effective listening means is to actively listen with body and mind. It is a way of listening that helps one truly comprehend the speaker's message and genuinely connect with them. It is about being attentive, maintaining good eye contact, and observing the speaker's verbal and non-verbal body language. It is a healthy combination of critical listening, which helps one interpret the speaker's message, reflective listening, which involves repeating back in your own words what you heard the speaker say, so that the speaker has a chance to affirm or correct any misinterpretations. It is also passive listening, which is a form of listening where you use attentive silence with minor vocalizations, maybe positive facial expressions, depending on what the situation demands. This allows the speaker to gather their thoughts and emotions in order to verbalize maybe sometimes distressing issues that they have to bring up. So effective listening conveys empathy, respect, and caring interest. It helps the speaker feel heard and encourages them to bring up distressing struggles if they need to. This also helps the listener understand the speaker's message and their concern and the emotional state in which they are. So it provides them an opportunity to offer support effectively if needed or when needed. So practicing effective listening consistently as suited to all aspects in our lives typically results in meaningful interactions, reduces conflicts, and improves relationships. Most of all, it helps us in using and practicing the values that Swami teaches us about love, compassion, and respect for each other. Sairam, thank you.
Sairam, Brenda.
I have a question for you. And how does a facilitator create a warm and welcoming atmosphere for the sisters to gather and feel comfortable to share feelings, emotions, and experiences?
That's a great question, Sister Brenda. I think if we implicitly follow Swami's message of spreading unconditional love, the atmosphere will fill with warmth and openness automatically. As a facilitator, we all have to go the extra mile to make everyone feel comfortable and welcome, always putting the needs of others first. Swami says lead by example. We should follow his example of love all, serve all principle and make it the core value of all our gatherings. So the question is, how do we spread this unconditional love to everyone at all times? Seems like a very difficult task. Swami often uses acronyms. One of my most favorite ones is ABC, always be cheerful. He talks about the value of smile. Smile does not cost anything, but it gives so much joy to others. We can get the communication flowing with a smiling face and a welcoming heart. Being non-judgmental is very crucial in any relationship. We're always quick to judge people without knowing the situation or the background. There is a story behind every person's behavior, attitude, and mental state. Keeping all this in mind, I feel we can provide a welcoming space to our sisters if we are sincere, honest, have an open-mindedness, and unconditional love at all times. Saira.
So well said, Sister Sushi. And Sister Suzanne, how can women make it comfortable for sisters who have other problems and inner struggles and who are uncomfortable in group situations?
Sairam, thanks for that question. It's a really good one. Part of creating a safe space where our sisters can feel safe and able to reach out for the help they need or want involves something we would call keeping good boundaries. It's really important that the peer counselor reassure the sister that anything that's shared between them will be kept in strictest confidence. This is especially important in an environment where we have many intersecting relationships, including at the SSSIO Center, regional events, and even in our neighborhoods. Another aspect of keeping good boundaries involves the responsibility of the peer counselor to be aware of any impulses she might have to what I call fix the problem. Usually this happens when she's feeling anxious herself or identifying too much with the problem that the sister is bringing. We all know that the inner Swami is the ultimate solution, ultimate guide, and that the Swami within the sister already has the solution. So our main responsibility is to help the sister learn to access that inner Swami. And often the best way to do this is to stay connected with our own inner side. Sairam.
Okay, very good. So now I'd like to bring Sajatra up.
Thank you, Sister Brenda. Sairam.
Sairam.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about self-reflection, which
Yes.
is the habit of deliberately paying attention to our own thoughts, emotions, decisions, and behaviors. It's a 3-step process. First, reflecting on our experience. Think about what we did, thought, and felt at the time. Next, reflect on our learning. Analyze our experience and compare to the models or principles that we want to follow. Then apply to our life. This can be done during the action or after the action. How does self-reflection help? It helps us to look neutrally at our thoughts, feelings, emotions, and actions. By reflecting on the experience, it may highlight our areas or problems that we may need to work on. It's a positive way at looking our likes, dislikes, weaknesses, and take action to find solutions. It helps manage our own emotions. It accelerates improvement in our leadership skills and practice, thus enable us to better understand others. Self-care is action taken to preserve or improve one's own health. It includes spiritual health, physical health, thoughts and emotions, and examples: healthy food choices, exercising, taking regular breaks, asking for help, etc.
That was so beautiful, Sister Sujya. I would like to invite Sister Neelam. Sister Neelam, as women come to the group with their problems and concerns, how can we try to assist them with the Sai love in each one of us?
Sairam Sabato, thank you for that question. We are all too familiar with Swami's very loving and simple quote, "Help ever, hurt never." With that in mind and in our hearts as the guiding principle, we are hoping that the facilitator will be able to keep an open mind with a non-judgmental stance in effort to create a loving and safe environment. The hope is that our facilitators can nurture this quality so that our Sai sisters feel heard, respected, and loved in an empathic manner without feeling patronized by any given situation they share, talk about, or are seeking support for. When it comes to problem solving, which will inevitably come up, the facilitator will want to focus on helping our sisters find solutions to their problems through discussion and exploration. This can be done by reflective listening, offering feedback and suggestions, asking open-ended questions, and inviting other sisters to share their input. The facilitator should not by no means be expected to have all the answers or feel the burden of having all the answers. More so, they will play the role of guiding one of our sisters, all of our sisters, to become the explorers and finders of their own strengths within. Jai Sairam.
Sairam, Sister Neelam, thank you so much for that lovely reminder. I thank all the sisters who are here in this group who took the leadership to come up with different modules that would assist the peer empowerment group in different centers. Sairam, everyone.
Wow. What a novel and beautiful way to bring together and harness the power of women. Moving on to the next initiative. We have all heard our beloved Swami's words. Engage yourselves in service activity. Consider service, social service, as service to God. This is the best way to earn God's love. Love all and serve all. Your entire life will be sanctified thereby. As important as it is to extend our service to the community outside, our next main segment highlights ways we can help our own dear Sai brothers and sisters in a unique initiative called Sai Cares, a free helpline service across the USA. Sai Cares aims to provide assistance to our fellow Sai brothers and sisters of all ages who are confronted with personal challenges and unmet needs. Sai Cares' vision is to ensure that no member of the Sai community is left feeling alone or helpless. Let us learn more about this unique initiative.
Sai Cares is a helpline that anyone can call in if they're needing any kind of an assistance. It's a non-emergency based service, and it's free of cost, and it's completely confidential.
What can we do to help the members of our region? We do a pretty good job of helping others, that are not part of the Sai organization, the homeless, those who need tutoring, and so forth, all the different types of service we do, the Narayana service and all the others. But I also noticed that our own members were suffering in some cases. There's one instance of a gentleman, one of our members in New York City, who had a basement apartment and it flooded completely. Not sure whether that was during Hurricane Sandy or what, but he got completely flooded out and he had no resources. He had nothing to help him. And, where was everybody? Where was the help? There were other people who had gotten sick and didn't have ways to get to the doctors or hospital. They were paying a lot of money for taxis or other services and so forth. I just kept seeing all these occurrences where our own members were having problems. And, Swami says that service and duty starts in the home. And the Sai organization is our home. So what could we do to help our own members? And that was the genesis of Sai Cares. We realized that we had to put together first a mechanism so people can communicate with us as to what their needs were. If they fell on hard times, let us know and let them know that they could trust us, that everything would be confidential. And then how do we address their needs? Well, there had to be a skills inventory of those in the region, just regular members of the Sai organization in our region who have different skills, who can help out. Doctors, obviously, but others too, people who can just give rides to others who need rides to doctors or to get groceries. So we put together this inventory of the location of where people were throughout our region and what their skills were, and they would volunteer. So then the way it all worked was someone would call in with a need. Then we would connect them to a person who had the skills and the time availability to help that person. And it worked very well. And it's worked so well that it has now expanded to other regions as well.
When the caller calls in and they're asked to enter their zip code, because it allows us to then provide the caller to the right geographical area that is local to them. It gets routed to the appropriate region, thought of by asking for some basic contact information, name, phone number, email address. We asked the caller about the request. What is it that they specifically need? So just take an example of if somebody needs a ride, then we're going to ask them, what date you need it, when do you need it, where do you need it from, where are you going to? That's kind of basic information that we need, so we can tell our volunteer this is the information. At all times, we respect the confidentiality of the caller. If they feel uncomfortable about giving specific details, then it's fine. We don't ask for that. We're acting as a conduit between somebody needing help and somebody able to provide the help. We say to the caller that, expect a call back from us within 24 hours. What we do then behind the scenes is we try to contact volunteers to see if somebody's able to provide the services. In simple cases, it's not a big problem. In other cases, it takes a little bit longer. If we do find the volunteer that is able to provide the service, we'll call the caller back and say, look, we found somebody and they're willing to provide the service that you're looking for. If the caller is agreeable to that, then we will make the contact between the two of them, and then we'll step out. Wow. And if we're not able to find the volunteer within 24 hours, we'll still call the caller back and say, we're still working on it. And here's what's kind of going on, just a high level kind of idea, so that, they feel comfortable that, people are still, working on their case. It's meant to be really one person really helping another person kind of a thing, opposed to calling customer service or whatever else, in corporations. And so to the extent that there's compassion, to the extent that there's understanding, we kind of look for all those kinds of qualities within the volunteers. One of the things we've learned is there's no such thing as a typical phone call. Can group calls into like 4 areas, right? One is like emotional support, where somebody's really looking, it could be grief support as an example, where they've lost a loved one, or they just need somebody to talk to, or that. So that kind of falls under the emotional support category. We also have elder care support, and elder care is where somebody's confused about the medication that they're taking. They might have questions about Medicare or whatever that they want just somebody to talk to. And one of the other things that we also try to do is provide the conversation, the dialogue in local language that the caller prefers. So if the callers preferred Spanish or Telugu or Hindi, then we have volunteers that can do that. And quite often the volunteer will express that and will actually feel very good about it, that we were able to do that. So elder care is there, and then child care, in terms of, especially with COVID and with virtual learning, how children are coping, or tutoring, my child needs extra help in this. Do you have somebody that can provide that? So that's an area. And then really there's a fourth one that is kind of like a catch-all called helping hand. So anything really that does not fall into those other categories, we put into the helping hand category. Could be like somebody needs grocery shopping. And this was quite big among seniors during the peak of COVID time, because people just not wanting to venture out, and so they would call and say, can I get this grocery delivered, and such and so forth. So we would make arrangements for that. So all different types of calls, and sometimes a call on the surface seems very simple, but then it will kind of develop its own momentum, and we call it arms and legs in our jargon. And it can mushroom into different needs. And so as volunteers, we have to be mindful of that type of situation as well.
When we started PsyCares, we discovered that the actual needs were anything but what we thought they were. Certainly we got the calls about what we thought there would be to needs for tutoring, rides, that sort of thing. But there were so many others as well. In addition, there were others, calls from people outside our region who needed help. And one of the caveats of being a side devotee is to love all and serve all.
This whole pandemic, when there was the ban from India to come, for parents to come here, we did have young adults having babies and they were alone. So we could, when they call PsyCares, we could arrange for food or any kind of a help the new parents would need. We would call elderly care. Because during the pandemic, our elders were very vulnerable to COVID-19. So they were very scared of going out, doing grocery shopping, and because they were scared, they wanted someone to call and talk to and know that someone is there for them. We had a way different calls than we anticipated. It might be as like I have to move out of my apartment today, and I need assistant to move everything into a storage unit. So we could gather volunteers, and it can be as other requests is like my parents are here but their medical insurance expired. How do I need to check with the doctor? Or I want to extend my parents' stay. How do we go ahead and do it?
It's such a joy to be able to connect on this level with them, and to know that they aren't ever alone, that no one is ever alone, that we will be a voice there with them and for them.
The reason why we latched onto it is because it came from Swami.
Of course.
Right? In one of his discourses, it happened to be Guru Purnima, I think it was 1960, where he talks about sadhana, and one of the steps in sadhana he talks about is love all, serve all. And he says love calls, love responds, and we picked it right from there as our tagline. And because we felt that captured the essence of what PsyCares was all about.
In this community, I was feeling somewhat helpless myself, because there were needs beyond my ability to reach, and even our center or region. One example is elders who are isolated during this time and feeling very alone, and the difficulty of not being able to meet their needs in that way. But once PsyCares came in, it was a portal of foundational love and support that changed everything, brother. It really helped our whole community to engage on a heart-to-heart level and know there's a resource, there's a place where love calls and love responds. It changes everything, especially during these times where people are dealing with so much. It's a true portal of love. I'm so grateful.
Those who actually provided the service, the skills, feel really good about it. And I have learned personally that there's so many good people out there who want to help. And there's so many people with needs that usually don't voice their needs. And so it is very important to be able to encourage those people to speak up and let us know that there is a need that they have, and that we're there for them. And being able to be there for them just makes us feel so good.
So Lord, know that I'm your child, and I'm doing the best that I can. Why my way gets so hard? You know I just won't understand. Oh Lord, I need you to hold my hand. I can't make it without you, Lord. Oh Lord, I need you to hold my hand. See, as I travel from place to place, many times I'm treated so bad, but then I sit and think about I can't miss a friend that I never had. Oh Lord, I need you to hold
It's so wonderful to know that our Swami has given us a safe space to call for his help in our times of need. It's as simple as picking up the phone and dialing 857 dial SAI. That's 857 DIALSAI. It's a number that every one of our Sai brothers and sisters should have saved. Check out www.psycares.org for more details. As we come to a close on our Insider Lens series, and as a special way to recap the various stops we have made in our journey across America, tonight we have a sweet surprise for all of you viewers. We have invited some of our Psy young adults to take on a rapid fire trivia game based on the 9 episodes of InSaider Lens. Get your game face on and participate along with them. Over to you, Sriram.
Thank you, Arun, and welcome to our special segment for tonight. From the network that's brought you special shows like Sci Tank and The Game of Life, we have another very interesting game tonight and have 9 enthusiastic YAs who have braced themselves for this rapid fire trivia game. Are you a true insider? We have 2 teams with us here tonight, Team Love and Team Peace. Let's do a quick round of intros. All the participants from both teams will introduce their names and the city they're from. Go ahead, guys. Team Love.
My name is Hema. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Region 2.
Salam everyone. I'm Sai Priya. I'm from Austin.
My name is Ritesh and I'm from Mountain View, California, Region 7.
My name is Samiksha. I'm from Austin, Texas.
I'm Aarti. I'm from Austin.
Next on to Team Peace. Guys, introduce yourselves.
Salam everyone. I'm Sai Prashant from Houston.
I'm Rajat from Chicago, Region 5.
Shruti, and I'm from Miami, Florida, Region 3.
I'm Suresh from Seattle, Region 6.
So next, I'm going to give you guys the quick rules for the game. Both teams are going to be given 15 questions, a set of 15 questions, and a minute to complete the set of 15 questions. Whichever team scores more points by answering more number of questions right will be deemed the winner. So, strap your seatbelts, put on your thinking hats, and let's get answering. Each of the teams will be given a minute each, and I have the stopwatch at my end. And once you guys answer each question, I shall be clicking on the black arrow at the bottom of your screen, and we'll move on to the next question. So at the end of 15 questions, I will stop and let you guys know how many questions you guys have answered. Okay, with that, let's get started, Team Love. 3, 2, 1, start.
Ladies' Day?
That's right.
Hanukkah.
Jeez, Hema's on fire, all right.
I know. Like love.
That's a random guess, Aarti. I guess there's some portion of it that's right.
Oh, embrace the grace, right?
That was for Austin.
Sorry, guys. Okay.
Can we pass? We'll go to the next.
You guys are running short.
I don't know.
You guys will stop. Oh, you guys.
Pass.
We will pass the 1 minute mark here. So Team Peace, this is your shot at it. So are you guys ready? 3, 2, 1, and your time begins now.
Hanukkah?
Is that the answer?
All Saints Day.
All Saints Day.
Yep.
Orphans Day.
New York.
Yep.
New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
True.
I think from all senses. Something like
final answer.
Purified. Purity.
Purify. So choose one.
Okay, go for purify. Oh.
Hey, the timer is ringing.
Chalice.
So thanks, Team Peace. You guys are done with your first round as well. Let's take a quick look at the scores at this point. Team Love is at 2 points, having gotten 2 out of their 4 questions in their minute. Team Peace is slightly ahead of the game at 3 points in their allotted minute. So let's go on to round 2 and let's see how both the teams fare. Team Love, your 1 minute starts now.
LA, 1972.
Nope.
Oh, Hollywood.
Oh, it's almost there.
Sister. I don't know.
Pass it? Or you guys?
And pass it?
Pass.
Yeah, pass.
Okay. The answer is?
I was in
Loving words or like
By love.
love. Appearance.
Wolf.
That's right.
Child hunger.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. That's past the allotted time. So we move on to the next team, Team Peace. And your minute starts now.
Community emergency response team. No, it's team. Okay.
It's training.
Is it true? Is it? What is it?
Helpful?
Is it helpful? Is it
Necessary?
necessary? Is it kind? Is it
What's the I?
H and I? Is it
Inspiring?
Inspiring, necessary, and how helpful.
It is inspiring.
Yeah, I think we got it.
Okay, artificial soul technology? Something soul technology?
So after round 2, both teams have scored 2 points each. And therefore, Team Love is now totaling round 1 and 2 at 4 points. And Team Peace is at 5 points. This is close, you guys. Team Love, you guys can certainly catch up and nudge ahead. So this is your chance. So get ready. The round 3 with a 1 minute timer begins now.
It's an app for helping
Bhajans.
with bhajans. Right. If you don't know the lyrics or you're just humming.
Yeah.
This is a hard one.
Full form of.
I know it had really great graphics.
I know.
Pass.
Pass.
Yeah, pass. Yeah, pass.
Okay.
Spiritual energy. Okay. Okay.
That's based on.
But
We
you can
cannot
speak
always, but
obligingly.
yeah.
You can speak all it obligingly. Okay.
It can
The game of through the game, what feature can you activate?
like talking to the inner Swami.
Lifeline?
Divine words feature. Okay. Atlanta's motor.
Phoenix, rising from the ashes. Cypria, go ahead.
Oh no, you go.
Was it rising from the ashes or something like that? Rising from the ashes.
Okay.
Timer's okay. Are we done? Okay. Okay, so now let's move on to Team Peace. Okay, so Team Peace, get ready. Your minute starts No.
New York.
San Francisco?
No.
Pass.
Boston?
That's right.
California.
That is right.
Chicago.
That is right.
Chicago?
No.
Phoenix.
Atlanta.
No.
Dallas?
Finally, you guys. At the end of round 3, the scores are Team Love scored 3 points this round and is at a total of 7 points after 3 rounds. Team Peace has scored 4 points in this round and therefore is ahead by 2 and at 9 points after 3 rounds. For this final round, we're going to have each team nominate one member of their team, and each of the remaining 5 questions have 2 points each. So there's a total of 10 points up for grabs, and this deficit of 2, which Team Love is behind by, can be more than made up. So Team Love, who are you going to nominate from your team? Who's that know-it-all?
Hema.
Hema nominates herself, the brave one.
The team.
And Team Peace?
Sister Shruti.
Shruti. Yeah.
Are you sure, guys?
Go for
It's
it.
all on your shoulders,
Team
Shruti.
Love,
Yeah.
shout out any of the answers to
Show
me.
him. Show him.
Yeah, sure.
The question's going to be up, and whoever raises their hands first is going to be the person who will be given the chance to answer. And if they make the wrong answer, the point automatically gets awarded to the other team. So just be aware, okay? And each question is 2 points each. So here we go, guys. Shruti versus Hema, Love versus Peace. Who's gonna come out on top? Shruti's raised her hands.
Seattle.
That is right. Team Peace is up by 4. Come on, Team Love and Hema. Next question. Hema's raised her hand. Go for it, Hema.
No.
Go for it.
Chicago.
It's St. Louis.
Uh,
Sorry, you guys. Okay, Shruti, go for it.
Austin.
That is right. Oh my God. Team Peace is running away with it, guys. Final question. Shruti's raised her hand.
Atlanta.
That is right. All 4 questions have been scored by Team Peace, and therefore they scored 8 points, and they end up with 17 points, and Team Love at 7. Thanks, guys. This was so much fun, and so not close at all at the very end. Thank you, guys. This was real fun and was so entertaining. It seems like Team Peace has completely dominated it at the end of the day, and Shruti and her team are truly the insiders. Team Love, our commiserations. Well, we love you guys, and you guys have been such an integral part of this whole journey, of this amazing 10-week journey. There's so much that we've learned, and so much that we have forgotten, it seems, along the way. So it's time for us to look back and actually go back to the drawing boards and pick up all the important lessons and imbibe it, most importantly. Thank you once again for all your time and for all the love and joy that you guys have brought to the sets of Are You a True Insider? And over to you, Arun, back in the studio. Sairam.
Wow, what an entertaining and fun way to recap our entire journey, guys. Now, let's quickly recap the Connect Challenge from last week. We asked you, our viewers, to share a segment that you most connected with from our Insider Lens series. And here's what you said. Thank you, viewers, for sharing your responses to our weekly Connect challenges. This 10-week journey across America has genuinely unearthed so many inspiring messages and spiritual teachings, thereby helping us truly understand and appreciate how this beautiful land embodies Swami's eternal teachings through its mottos. We genuinely pray and hope this journey has in turn inspired all of us as citizens to imbibe and embody these learnings, for only in living up to these mottos and messages can we stay true to the intent of our series, In Search of America's Soul. For in discovering hers, we awaken ours. This is Soul Network signing off for the last time in 2021. Wishing you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And as always, stay safe, healthy, and well during the holidays. Sai Ram.
Hey,
Hi.
what is going on? You seem to be deep in thought.
Yeah, I just came out to get these lemons and it just got me thinking. I mean, Swami always tells us there's so many lessons even in nature. We just got done watching the last Insider Lens episode last night and I just was thinking, this entire lemon tree, it just goes through this whole process of, being pruned and the flowers bloom and every single lemon on this tree just takes its own sweet time, to just ripen and be perfect and so ready for us to give us that beautiful juice. And I just feel like our journey with Swami and all these YA initiatives kind of feels like the same analogy, Like we've gone through our own journeys through our initiatives. So
Yes, for sure.
how cool would it be if we could go behind the scenes, behind Insider Lens, and talk to all the people that I'm sure have put in so many hours kind of in their own journey, like this lemon tree of ripening and perfecting themselves and offering themselves to Swami. And I would love to learn more from them, like when we listen to others' reflective experience, we're growing too. So that's just what I was thinking about now that, the whole series is over. Just what next?
Do you remember I bought some podcast equipment or like video recording equipment maybe a few months ago?
Yeah, that big box that's sitting in the corner unopened?
Exactly that box. I think that box would be put to good use. What if we do just episodes of behind the scenes for InSaider Lens and use that equipment to record all that nice, experiences and share them on YouTube or something.
That's a great idea. I mean, A, equipment will be used, and B, we'll probably learn stuff. And who knows, maybe that'll be Soul Network's next initiative is a YouTube channel. So that sounds like a really good idea. We probably just have to coordinate and get people on.
So what you're telling me is that was a good purchase.
Well, I guess I'd say so. Yes. Good job buying that equipment, Shreyas. Yes. Thank you.
I think the Cosme lip balm is working.
Sairam Soul Network viewers, and welcome to this video log or a vlog behind the lens. So we have panelists today that have been working really hard over the last 10 weeks, maybe longer, to bring you all these beautiful episodes of inspiration, connection, and reflection. Shreyas and I have been so inspired. We have watched every week together. And we have had our moments to pause, to practice, and maybe even perfect some of these things. But as we reflected, one thing that came to mind for me is there's always so much that happens behind the lens and behind the scene. We've been involved with a lot of young adult activities, and we know the tireless, sleepless nights that go into this. So we thought it would be really great to learn from all of you on this panel today as well, to see how Swami has really inspired you, how Swami has worked through you. So we may learn from not just our reflections, but all of your reflections as well. So over to you, Shreyas, to start us off.
Yeah, so as Ramya was saying, we're so inspired and we're so energized because we just saw episode 9 yesterday, and we immediately dusted off our equipment that I had bought, I know God knows when. What inspired you to join this movement? Maybe let's start with Sriram.
Hey, thanks, Ramya and Shreyas, for giving us the opportunity and for our moment in the limelight, having been behind it all this while. It's great to connect with all these folks once again. And what inspired me to join this, as ever in the SAI organization, sometimes you don't volunteer, but you're voluntold. and Padma Shri and Lakshman were like, brother, there's this new offering that we are thinking of coming up with. Do you want to be a part of it? And little was I given the choice of opting out. So they said, come on, opt in and here is out. And I think what really motivated me, actually, jokes apart, was the fact that, they really touched upon the fact that there were folks, especially during the pandemic, who felt alienated and who felt distanced or disconnected from their centers, and offerings such as Unite and Uplift and Sai Bhagavatam, the previous year, had uplifted spirits. And during this year, we hadn't had a pan-national series to uplift the mood and engage and connect us to Swami. So that intent of wanting to bring people together to connect all of us and connect us to Swami and strengthen that bond really inspired me to be a part of it.
Lakshmi, how did you feel about when you were offered to start contributing? How did you feel about it?
Just like how Sriram said, brother Lakshman and sister Padma Shri had roped him in, Sriram roped me in actually into this program. So initially when I signed up for this, frankly speaking, I had no idea what I'd signed up for. It was something completely new. I just wanted to be part of the journey, and that's all that was filling my mind. And I just said yes. And I think also knowing that there'll be a lot more YAs who'll be participating in this with me, it gave me that confidence to say, hey, come on, let's be together, let's learn new things, let's do this.
Okay, for me, I think Anusa is the one. So
So for me, Anissa wrote me about this opportunity, and I really took this as an opportunity to engage with other YAs. I know with COVID, we haven't had a chance to really have physical interactions, but I think this opportunity really give us to, for me, this gives an opportunity to really work with other YAs in a virtual setting.
So what I'm hearing a lot of comments and reflections about connection, bringing YAs around the country together. If maybe we can pause for a moment and reflect on what is that togetherness brought for us. So we've come together. What has maybe Swami shown us through that? What are maybe some, even if it's skills we've learned that help us, move Swami's mission forward together collectively? I'd love to hear, Hema, some thoughts from you.
Togetherness, I would say with InSaiders, it's definitely Swami has allowed us to, we're all individuals, right? We have our own thoughts, we have our own interpretations of Swami's message and his words. And it's, I think with this initiative or this project, it definitely allowed us to bring forth our own ideas, but at the same time, know collectively, or what other people think, and most of the time you realize it's actually similar. And then there's someone else like Sriram, who has really great interpretations, and you're just like, I didn't even think about that. And I would say there was definitely that togetherness that you're able to, again, as someone used bonding, and that definitely is what I feel brought us together. And I think the skills that I think the most important skill of all is being really open, like be able to communicate with someone and not have that fear of like, this is what I think. I think that's definitely an integral part of how the wheels behind the scenes really work.
No, that's great. Thank you for sharing that. I think, we always live in this dichotomy, right, of these two voices in our head, so to speak. And, one's like, are we fearful of these new things? Do we have time? But then the other side's like, nope, just dive in, do it. And I think that's one of the big lessons always with Swami's work, and that mission is just say yes to that positive voice that's calling you. There's a reason behind it.
Yeah, for me, so like when I first got involved, it was actually a pretty unique way. Sriram texted me. I know, completely crazy. You never would have guessed. But I remember someone told me from back when I was at the Dallas SSSIO Center, which is that whenever you get an opportunity from within the center, try your best not to say no, because whatever opportunities you get is always Swami giving you a chance to do something good. So when I got that, I was waiting, figuring out what my role was going to be in all this. And then I figured out I was going to be an actor. And so I thought, okay, I've done some plays here and there in school and through the center and everything. I'm not like a thespian or anything, I'm not this huge Broadway star. But I said, okay. And I went and tried to do it. And the story that it ended up being with the script and the two wolves, something that actually resonated with me a lot. Because I'm a freshman in college, I'm still trying to figure out my way and my place and everything. I'm trying to figure out my involvement with the center in Austin and also in Dallas, and balancing a lot on my plate. I think throughout all those different aspects of my life, the core is really the difference between right and wrong. So if I can always listen to the good wolf, or try to stay on the right path, I think that'll help clear up a lot of the confusion and keep me focused on what I should be doing. And that's something that being in that play and being in that script really helped me understand and solidify.
Yeah, that's amazing, because we're talking about the black and the white. It's like we're talking about what is right, what is wrong, which is a constant struggle for all of us, because the world is so gray, right? And getting that right and wrong. So Anjan, as you were doing your projects, were there any places where you had to choose between black and white? Were you faced with that in reality as you were working on this project?
I'll be honest, I was under a lot of stress at times. It was like constantly messaging on WhatsApp. It was like I had to, put my life on pause in some respects. But there was a lot that I did gain from it. I love the camaraderie, working with so many people from around the country.
Awesome. Anusha, how about you? Did you have any of those?
Padma Shri called to ask, will you be able to step in? At that point, I was not even sure if I would be able to. But then nothing else happened. That November, I was literally available every week to work on this. At that point is when I realized, maybe Swami, this is what you want me to do. There is some learning that you want me to get out of this. And then after that, there was no looking back. It all comes together. Magically. Help arrives at the most unexpected situation. We would be scratching our heads. Who do we ask? What do we do? And then, okay, it happened. Wow, amazing. So to magic unfold, I think that is the blessing, that he wants you to witness that. And he tells you that this is what I want you to see. You think that you are in charge? No way. I'm in charge. And you guys are just, here to just be the guest role players. That has been the biggest blessing for me. So I want to thank all of the people, who have been nudging and, saying this and that, editing and, cutting lines off. I have to apologize for all that at some point. But that is truly my biggest learning.
Thank you, Anusha. That's so insightful and actually very perfect for the festive season of how you said Swami just makes the magic happen, right? This is the season of magic and, just belief and faith and all of that. And I see that beautiful bow on Swami behind you. So I think he's really packaged all of this beautifully and put that bow on top. So thank you so much for sharing that. But you also shared, something really important that for me also, really hits home of when you say yes to Swami, everything else just takes care of itself, right? You say yes and automatically, like you said, things clear up and your schedule clears up and people show up from, all over the place to help. So that brings me to Hiranmayi. I know we've worked a little bit together. So I know you are also, an SSC teacher. There's probably like lots of, life applications you're working on when you create your lessons. November is also a busy time for SSC season. So I'd love to hear from you just, how you balanced things or what insight, you got from all of this, or whether there were life applications, PSAs, et cetera, that as an SSC teacher and a participant in all of this, you were able to really showcase or experience.
Well, I would say, I think it was like difficult at first because I didn't know what I was jumping into, just how Swami just magically just lets things happen, he will get his way no matter what. And I think a lot of the lessons that I learned in SSC as a student, I didn't, register them as well. But once I got, onto, InSaider lens, Swami is like, okay, you've been slacking off for so many years. Like, okay, get back to working on it. And so he's really just like really honed down like some of the simple messages, like, whether it's breaking the chain of anger or just, even just prioritizing yourself, understanding like, your spiritual journey is still happening. You can't keep it on the back burner or anything. You've got to still work on it. So I think those are some of the main messages I got off, is that, don't ever like, keep things waiting, work on them. Like you have the moment right now, regardless, like keep, pushing on it, working on it, and just make yourself a better person. And of course, like the InSaider lens, whether it's the ads, the PSAs, they're like just really a pure message of that.
Thank you, Hiranmayi. That actually reminds me of a quote that I actually have on my mirror. So I look at it when I'm brushing my teeth every morning, but it's essentially about how when you think Swami is ignoring you or not looking at you, really it's the road is under construction. And so he's giving you time to like pave the way, clear the pebbles, work on yourself. So when he, again, turns and reflects, there's all this attention on this golden shining path. So it just reminded me of that as well, which for me is a daily reminder of, okay, I'm working on myself. And even in those moments of lull or feeling like I'm not connected, that's actually Swami's gift of time to really perfect and work on myself. So thank you for bringing that through so beautifully.
And that's awesome, because I think you talked about episode 1 And when I looked at episode 1, I was like, this is fantastic. The first few minutes and the background and everything coming in from a skills perspective, it was amazing. But it also got me thinking. Swami has this way of unleashing the latent qualities within us and somehow bringing that to the fore, right? So did you guys feel that you actually went through that journey where you actually melted and became, just like gold melts and then new jewelry is born? Did you guys felt that you somehow melted during the process and here was a new Sriram or a new Hema or a new Anjan that came forth?
Absolutely. Shreyas, when, the beauty, that Swami makes you realize, and I think Anusha kind of touched upon it. When she said he gives you the guest role. Now the guest role is for what purpose? I realized through the InSaider lens. For example, some of these guys may say that that I played a crucial part, but in all honesty, when I look at how each of these episodes came about, actually, I honestly feel I'm the expendable part of this of each episode, and I'll tell you why. I felt like there were folks who bought specific skill sets, like you said, to getting an episode made. There were the writers, there were the actors, and the overall episode coordinators. So in one sense, these folks brought an episode together. And for me, whether I was a part of it or not, it would have gotten itself done and done just right. For me, the joy was to realize that I was planted in that guest role, like she said, to actually learn how to be a witness of this beautiful amalgamation of so many different folks with different thought processes, mindsets, just coming together and just enmeshing ourselves into this beautiful stream of love that flows towards Bhagwan and flows from the Bhagwan within through the Bhagwans that I'm working with to the Bhagwans watching. That's the beauty. And you've got to feel it, and you will feel it. And that's what you felt during InSaider, because and just sitting in the position that I had, perched on top and had the 10,000 foot overview, I think that makes you realize you're just an onlooker. And it's because of the people that the series became what it became. And I've got to genuinely thank everyone from the bottom of my heart there. That is what that connection, that bond, you can't manufacture it. You've got to feel it. You either have it or you don't. And that's what I felt with all of these folks.
Sometimes you don't realize your own transformation, right? It's when you're talking to someone or a group of people like this, that's when you see a transformation. Nice getting to know everyone and seeing just, again, like how do people interpret quote, or even like what are their thought process of how they got to an ad or a PSA?
We've all gone through this journey, as viewers, we've gone through the reflection process, but there's always something, another layer on the other end of it. And sometimes so much happening that you don't see on screen every Friday.
All of a sudden, they just asked me to co-lead and help with episode 1. Just had to jump in like that. And that's when I realized, okay, I'm in for a roller coaster ride. And personally, I don't like roller coasters. So I was in this, I had this uncomfortable feeling initially. But when we went in, starting from when we formed the team, right? We were all like this scattered puzzle pieces where you had no clue how it's going to look at the end. And slowly when each of these ads or main news segment, on-site segment, and the PSA, they started taking shape, we started realizing the picture. And each one in the team had a very, very unique part to play. And without that one piece of the puzzle wouldn't be complete. And that's something that I really learned. And it's not that you need to know everything, but you just need to be with the right mix of people to get this done.
I'm really glad you brought that up, Lakshmi, because I feel like that's like InSaider has brought the whole country that way as well, right? So you look at the map, and I'm someone that back in the day used to collect state quarters. So I have one of those maps where I, put the quarters in, and it's actually inspired me to go back and just, listening to all those like state mottos and, just all of these like really subtle messages that bring the puzzle pieces of our country together, and actually make us one big country, really, and not these little pieces with lines and all of those divisions. So it just, as you were talking about puzzle pieces, it just took me for some reason into that space as well. So thank you for highlighting that.
There are times where you do feel isolated. It's not that just because of COVID, but there are times where you do feel isolated from the Psi world or whatnot, or from your own age group. And I definitely thought this was a good opportunity to go back to rereading Swami's literature, for ideation and creation. So I was never intended for Sister Mother to contact me and ask me to be a coordinator. I definitely hesitated. I don't see myself as a leader or any type of form. I'm very soft-spoken, and I definitely thought for a moment, okay, this is an opportunity for me to not be behind the scenes, but to be behind the scenes, but and so it definitely broadened my horizons. Also, just like I mentioned before, like how do the wheels in the clock work, right? What is the oil that makes it work, type of thing. When we talked about application, and that definitely applies to all sorts of things. So yeah, and I think it was a great opportunity to be part of, because coordination is hard. And, like I mentioned before, time zones, you're just like, God, America, why are there so many time zones? And I know Anjan is region too, but it's hard, not to say it's hard. Like, of course I can stay up to 12 at midnight, but you just have to, again, adjust yourself to everything. And so it's just, it was good in a sense. It was 2 weeks or more, but it was still a good time just to know yourself as well. Me as a coordinator, who am I as a coordinator? I never asked myself that question. Who am I as a coordinator? And how do I operate? So I definitely learned how do I operate and all that stuff. So
you can feel that each of us have had our own journeys, as frustrating as it has been at various points through it. I think we have held on to each other and Swami, knowingly or unknowingly, wantingly or out of no choice. We have called upon him because we have had to, because there's no way you can get through. Think about it. You're coming up with half an hour's content week in, week out for about 9 episodes is 4.5 hours, 5 hours content. And if you give yourselves 3 months to work towards that, maybe that's easy. But every week, come on, show up. It's, these guys have been incredible, just showing up. And it tells you what you can do. Even though, you feel like, okay, this is too much for me. You do your bit of opting in, saying I'm available, make yourself available, and start walking. People will come along and help you along the way. And Swami will come along to these people and help you. And the other important thing for me personally was the fact that I'm a procrastinator, and stuff. But what this series taught me was put your first step forward and call upon Swami and move forward. Put one step in front of the other, the path will unravel itself.
As a video editor, even working on the dance last time, patience and resilience, to ask the question, because that means more work for you. Mm-hmm. But then you have everybody else's vision that you have to bring to completion. Mm-hmm. So when there are other meticulous people that are like, nope, the hand has to move this way, the frame has to, a whole nother level of, I think, patience and being willing to do that for somebody else. So thank you, Anjan, and all the video editors and graphics people on the back end.
We have to agree to that. Video editors, the graphic designers, my God, they are truly the stars of our, series.
Also, special thanks to Shruti. Every week she did the graphics and everything. Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Cool.
I think I have this newfound respect for people who produce sitcoms and who put content out there. Where we're so critical when we watch something and say, "Hey, this is not looking good." Or I think I have this really newfound respect for these people who work in post-production and pre-production and all of that.
Yeah.
So that was a nice experience with Insider Lens that I came.
Swami makes it hard purposefully because none of us wanted to do it week in, week out, and none of us wanted to be under this sort of a gun. But he handpicked us and said, you've got to be under the gun. You've got to learn how to be under the gun, because that's when you will think of me. That's when you will grow. That's when you will actually know what it takes to be a devotee and to be on this path. And so I will handpick you and I will mess with you to the point that you submit and you tap out and say, dude, I don't want to be a part of it anymore. He takes you to that brink, and then somehow he keeps you on the journey, on the path, and then he takes you home. And then through a session like this, you can have everything seeps in and everything distills, and it all starts to concretize within. And what you have collected, therefore, is that spiritual toughness, that resilience that Ramya talked about. And you don't know that you have earned it, but you've earned it, and it'll show itself when you move forward in life. So, thanks so much, guys. I mean, it's just been an incredible session just to be a part of.
Great. Well, Sai Ram to all of you. And thank you so much for bringing us these reflections, these inspirations, for really bringing that whole lens and all sides of that lens together for us.
Yeah.
So thank you again. Thank you, Swami. And we will sign off at this point, and we'll see you on whatever the next adventure of Soul Network is.
Right. And look for us on episode 2 and subscribe down here at the button and click on the bell icon so you get more insider news.
That was so inspiring last night. Well, I wonder what the Arizona state motto is. I actually have not looked that up. Dita Dios. Latin for God enriches. That's really interesting. Who would have known? Dita Dios. God enriches. The official state seal of Arizona. Wow. Swami, enrich you have through all these episodes, the reflection last night, the Jeopardy game. Wow. I'm sure you have more in store for me and more lessons for me to learn. In God we trust. Thank you, Swami, for just another beautiful reminder that you're always there. I don't know how many pennies I probably picked up before, but never would I have thought to stop and look at the quote on it or just be reminded that in God we trust. This has been a really hard year. As a young adult, as a healthcare worker, everything I've known has just been upside down, turned around. This whole year has been a roller coaster ride. And all I could really ever do is trust in you, Swami, that you would be there to show me the way. Insider Lens has been such a beautiful reminder, so many lessons, validations of practices that maybe I had forgotten, new things I've learned like the Panda Mat that helps me stay grounded even though in those tough days with tough patients, just to find the moment to connect within. And of course, that sweet Cosmos Eye lip balm sure has helped in those conversations at home. Sugar or no sugar in my coffee. So Swami, thank you so much again for bringing through such sweetly. You're the essence of everything that you stand for. Service, sacrifice, and above all, surrender. Because only when we do that can we really, 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 truly have faith in you and trust that you are always with us and beside us.
తన ధనబలం పైన, తన అధికార బలం పైన, తన విద్యాబలం పైన, తన మేధాబలం పైన ఆశ్రయించినంత కాలం కూడాను భగవంతుడు అచ్చిభూతుడిగానే ఉంటాడు. ఎప్పుడు భగవంతునికి అర్పితమవుతున్నావు అప్పుడు సర్వము తానే చూసుకుంటాడు. కనుకనే అది ఏ పరమాత్మ సేవ. పరమాత్మనికి మరొక సేవ చేయనక్కర్లేదు. భగవంతుని సంపూర్ణంగా విశ్వసించాలి. ఎన్ని విధములైనటువంటి సాధనలు మనం చేసినప్పటికీ చేయకపోయినప్పటికీ సాధనలు ఏనాడు భగవంతుడు కోరడు. ప్రేమ స్వరూపులారా, ప్రేమ స్వరూపులారా, నేనెప్పుడు మీ వెంటనే జంటనే ఇంటనే ఉంటుంటాను. భగవాన్ is always with you, in you, around you, above you. కనుక మీరందరూ కూడా ఐకమత్యంతో పనిచేయండి. వర్క్ విత్ ఫీలింగ్ ఆఫ్ యూనిటీ. నా సీట్ ఇక్కడ కాదు. భగవాన్ సీట్ ఇస్ నాట్ హియర్. నా సీట్ మీ యొక్క హృదయమే. భగవాన్స్ చైర్ ఇస్ యువర్ హార్ట్. కనుకనే మీరు ఎక్కడ ఉంటే అక్కడ కూడా స్వామి ఉంటున్నాడు. స్వామి ఇస్ దేర్ వేరెవర్ యు ఆర్. ఏ కొరతలు మీకు జరగవు. నథింగ్ విల్ హ్యాపెన్ టు యు. ఏ విధమైనటువంటి అపజయాలు మీకు జరగవు. యు విల్ నెవర్ హావ్ ఫెయిల్యూర్. కానీ పరిపూర్ణమైన విశ్వాసంతో మీరు పనిలో ప్రారంభించండి. వర్క్ విత్ టోటల్ ఫెయిత్. ఏ పని చేసినా కూడా ఇది భగవత్ కార్యంగా భావించండి. వాట్ ఎవర్ యు మే డు గుడ్ వర్క్, టేక్ ఇట్ as God's work.
Dearest Swami, on behalf of the entire crew, we offer our utmost love and gratitude to you as we conclude this season of InSaider Lens. As we traversed through the United States of America in these 10 weeks, we had several opportunities to celebrate you and your message of unconditional love. Week after week, we explored new cities and their spiritual significance and learned about unique opportunities and initiatives along the way. Most importantly, we experienced your message of service, sacrifice, and surrender through hundreds of volunteers across the United States.
Swami, to air an episode live on a Friday evening for 10 consecutive weeks, it took more than 20 sleepless nights, 50 plus WhatsApp groups, 100 plus Zoom calls, 10,000 plus messages, and over 1 million CPU cycles of all that video and graphic processing. And it also took collaboration across the different wings of devotion, education, service, and young adults. Beyond the episodes itself, these opportunities created everlasting divine connections, and you gave us countless opportunities to understand and reflect on your message, Swami. Thank you.
When we were doubtful about getting the volunteer support needed for this marathon, you sent us the right people at the right time, showing us that when we take the first step with the purest of intentions, you will carry us through to the finish line.
And when we were wondering about viewer feedback, you sweetly reminded us that what happens leading up to Friday is more important than what happens on Friday. The journey is more important than the destination.
We heard that it takes a village to raise a child, and our InSaider series is no different. Thy brothers and sisters were handpicked by you and sent our way. They were the source of energy and inspiration that took us from one episode to the next. We offer our heartfelt gratitude to the SSC children, young adults, and adults across geographies and time zones who actively worked on the main segments, bringing very unique initiatives and perspectives into our homes and living rooms.
The creative scriptwriters who identified inspiring top stories, spotlighted state mottos, and spiritual highlights of the different cities, and incorporated their deeper significance that were reflective of your words, Swami.
The ad and PSA teams that went above and beyond to bring your messages to our everyday life, handcrafting every frame to perfection.
And the anchors, on-site reporters, and actors, all of whom enthusiastically brought our series to life, sometimes embracing unexpected challenges, including weather, technical difficulties, and tight timelines.
The graphics and video editors are true unsung heroes who worked their magic week after week, spending countless hours to create a final product that not only looked visually appealing, but also drove home your message with clarity.
And the episode coordinators who bravely accepted the challenge to bring together all the different elements of the episode with utmost care, oftentimes taking on different roles with grace and love.
The media and IT team who helped us review our content and bring this live every Friday evening.
And to all our wonderful viewers from across the world who shared their reflections with us and became our fellow travelers in this journey.
Our core team of young adult leaders, advisors, and national wing coordinators who were the backbone for this production, right from inception to conclusion, diligently reviewing every episode, offering guidance and feedback, always being flexible and open to new perspectives and ideas.
Swami, as we wrap up this year, we take with us this insider spirit that will continue to challenge us to embrace uncertainties, expand our thinking, and experience your message of universal love, thereby enriching our soul. Everything that we have learned through this journey, we promise to carry with us, and we pray that you remain a true insider forever.
We love you.
We love you, Swami.
On behalf of the entire team of Insider Lens, we wish you all a very happy new year.
And now, put on your Christmas hats and join us for some holiday cheer.
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.